Welcome back to the channel, guys. As you've seen from the thumbnail, today will be all about the breakdown of this MR2. I've had it over 18 years now, so I've got a good idea what it's like to run a car like this. This car is actually tuned up to 400 horsepower, so we'll see the engine and spec, and we'll just go from there. Actually, let's see how we go. We'll switch over to POV now, and then we'll give you a full hands-on view of how it's like. I think it's best I do a voiceover on this nerdy section so you guys can hear me over the wind noise. So what we're looking at here is a 3S GTE co-developed with Yamaha. This engine spanned from 1986 all the way up to 2007. This engine was mainly used in WRC in the Celica, and in 1989 it was put into the MR2. This 5 generations of this 3S GTE, what you're looking at here is a 3rd generation, which started in 1994. In standard trim, it's 241 horsepower, which is pretty good for the size and weight of the car. I've managed to get mine to double that to 230 on a good day, on a good cool day. In standard trim at 300 horsepower, you don't need to change any of the internals. You just need to get a better intercooler, and you need to up the boost, and that's about it, and also get a downpipe. When you're asking for more than 300, you need to forge the pistons, get forged pistons and conrods. Also, as well as the machining, you need to get bigger injectors, because the 540cc's won't do it. And then obviously a bigger turbo. The turbo I've chosen is a Garrett GTX Gen 2 3076 with a 60 AR housing. Truth be told, I think at top end it is getting quite choked. Even though it does make good boost power around 3000 RPM, at the top end it does feel like it's getting choked, so I will be changing that at a later date. I've got aluminium piping, as you can see, and I've got an Aquamist water methanol injection kit, because heat soak is a real issue on mid-engine cars, which really drastically lowers the power as you really ask power from the engine. So this helps with intake temperatures and detonation. And yeah, that's pretty a reliable engine. I've had no issues on my engine, apart from some things that I've done myself. And just as long as you stay on top of the engine, as far as maintenance, you should be fine. As you can see, it's not looking pretty, but it definitely works. I've had this for excuse the mess in the trunk or boot, depending on which part of the world you're from. I'm pointing out the water methanol injection 5-litre jerry can, which I've tidily put into the corner of the boot, because I wanted to keep the boot basically. Some people just get rid of the boot, and it's a nice little setup there where you can just keep the boot. Looking down, I'm showing you the Grady exhaust, which I had imported from America. It's not many people are making good quality exhaust for the car these days, so I had to wait 3 months to get this in from America. And it's from Grady, from Torken, and I'm showing you the other Grady parts in the car. Interior wise, it's pretty simple actually. Just added just updated the head unit, made sure everything works in here. We've got a 90s turbo timer here, which I didn't turn on. Basically, it's basically when you take out the key out the ignition, it assesses how hot the engine is and then keeps the engine on for that amount of time and then turns the engine off. This is basically normal Kenwood doubled in system. I made sure I got one which I would like and sort of keep. If I was really being picky, I would prefer it to be an OLED, because sometimes there's a bit of glare when it's really sunny. I've got all my parameters of the engine here. This one at top here is the water methanol injection. At the moment now the engine's in a low boost, as they call it. and then once I turn this on, it goes into high boost, and you turn on the pump. I'd rather have it that way, so I have more control over the how the engine moves rather than the ECU controlling it. So that's why I have that there. And we have here the parameters. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera here. Parameters of the engine, revs, coolant temperature, intake temperature, and then voltmeter. So it's good to keep a check on if your alternator's working, because this car I don't use every day, so these are the things that kind of break down when you don't use a car every day. I changed the seats to UK leather seats, and try and keep up on top of cleaning it. I went for a hard top. As you can see here, this middle bit here, this is where you'll have a Targa on other versions, but I wanted to kind of keep it simple in this car. I didn't want any issues with leaking and stuff like that, so I've had this car since for 18 years now, no leaks and all that stuff, so I don't need to worry about that. AC works, like I say, so it blows nice and cold. Obviously you turn it off if you want to really use the engine. Yeah, and that's about it really. I mean, every other thing here is just as it is, as it came out of the factory. So you have a little bit of cubby holes here, you can keep your stuff. And I put in a powered subwoofer in the car, just to, I'll just show you it now. Here you go, you can see the subwoofer. It sits behind the passenger seat, and they can still recline it as they want. And yeah, you can put your USB and music and stuff like that. I just kept my phone there, and then USB access to the ECU. We have a AVCR Apexi boost gauge, which I just keep in the car just to show me other parameters, speed, boost, and all that business. You have a nice Grady gear knob here, and yeah, that's about it. I like to keep the car period and classy. That's how I like this car. So yeah, let's get on to the driving side. Now we're driving sort of on normal roads, so just good time to talk about parts and maintenance. You can service this car quite easily. I put in 10W60 in this car. Because it's a built engine, the viscosity you have to change from the normal 530, which is what the normal standard engine takes. Service intervals as far as oil, I would say around 3 months, 3,000 miles or 3 months, whichever comes first. And then yeah, it's quite easy. I change the oil in this car myself. One of the few things I do myself in this car, because I've got no ramp. And then parts availability, you can go to your local Toyota dealer here in the UK and just buy the oil filters and stuff. That's what I do. Cam belts, I change mine every 5 years. Coolant every 5 years, and yeah, that's basically it. It's not really that expensive to run on this car, petrol wise, it all depends on how heavy your right foot is. If you fill the tank up on this car, you're lucky to get anything from 230 miles into it. So bear that in mind with this a car like this. It's got a very small fuel tank, so that's what we deal with in these cars. I mean, there's always going to be a con or disadvantage of owning a car like this. So it's not, even when you eco mile it, you can get about 230, 240 miles to a tank, and it costs at the moment now around 60 to 70 pounds to fill up this car. So all in all, it's not bad, and it's not that much different to when it was running standard power. So that is actually a bonus with this car. As you can see, my head's bobbing around on these roads, but you do get a nice sense of occasion with this car. It's like always an event driving this car, even at slow speeds. I tell you, when you do like even up 80 miles per hour or 70, sorry, miles per hour, it feels like you're doing 100 miles per hour in this car. So even though it does have the power to go faster, it does feel like you're going really fast because of how low you are when you're doing just up to the speed limit and stuff. Viewers with sharp hearing will probably be able to hear the whistling as I come on boost on the car. This is known as a boost leak. It's not really good for the turbo or the general setup, so this is why I backed off at this point. I think we'll conclude the video here. This is only a brief glimpse of how the car is when it's on boost, because I couldn't really obviously use its full potential, being a good boy and observing traffic. So we'll conclude it. Thank you guys for watching the video. We'll have more content for you in the coming weeks. Appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.